for that matter. You can combo into Thrupper and kill fairly early, whereas for Deltaforce, it really is a tool to keep your opponent away. It's more of a defensive option compared to Brawler, where it's offensive. So it's really unstoppable force versus immovable object in that sense. And we already saw what Deltaforce could do defensively against Pharaoh. Let's see if he can do that against not only an oppressive character, but a character that can literally kill you in a matter of seconds in Brawler, especially on Battlefield as well. So I'm actually really surprised to see that Deltaforce is bringing Yeast onto the stage. I mean, that Thrupper is even more of a threat on this stage than it ever has been on anything else.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that, especially given that he has so much more room in order to extend the down throw into Thrupper combos. As we're about to see just now, no down throw, but still able to get the Thrupper from the upper platform, and first stock of the game going to be going to Yeast.
Yeah, and this is going to be an issue that a lot of the links in general have. When they have a deficit, it's actually very difficult for them to not only mount the comeback, but even win from these positions. But Deltaforce showing his back air, Z-drop bomb into the up B. Such a cool and collected Deltaforce hitting that combo, especially, like I mentioned before, at a deficit where it's very difficult for a Link to come back. It's like you have to find that medium of playing slow, but also getting your shots in. And he's trying to find another stock to his name, calls out the air dodge and looking for the flip kick. I mean, he has a lot of equity, especially losing the stock that way. Maybe he tried to take Deltaforce with him, but unfortunately, gonna hold on to this lead. Deltaforce still clawing his way and fighting his way back. If he can hit the stock, both these guys are playing some crazy neutral, but Yeast again just gets a throw, puts Deltaforce into disadvantage, and now without bomb as well, trying to recover, especially up high as well. It's tough because all the links have linear recoveries.
Absolutely. Whole lot of nairs coming out from Deltaforce, just sort of jumping in with the nairs, especially against Yeast's shield. Finding himself off stage yet again. Yeast opting to sit in place and wait for Deltaforce to recover. Coming back to the center of the stage, the F tilt actually going to be punished instead by Yeast. No dice off of the Thrupper. Coming right back to the center of the stage, another Thrupper, but the up B coming out from Deltaforce. Not able to put a whole lot of damage onto Yeast just yet. The rapid jab coming out, and instead going to be Deltaforce's damage to make. That Thrupper, though, is going to be what takes the stock for Yeast.
Yeah, it took him a while to take that stock too. Deltaforce is at like 168, and that's kind of like when you're at that Marthitis. Like I like to call it Marthitis because like you just can't kill at certain points. But like Yeast was struggling to find a strong hit. Deltaforce clawing his way back with the uppy scoop on the ledge. His classic option to reverse the positions. And Yeast right now at a small deficit, gonna get it back immediately with that nair, but all of a sudden it's square one on last stock, Pearl.
Absolutely, Jellyfish. So, amazing way that Deltaforce was able to sort of make back that stock pretty quickly, but coming back, recovering high with the up B, still not going to be punished for it. Yeast nairing back to the center of the stage, finding himself on the upper platform, instead going to try to get a little bit of damage against and Deltaforce, sending him upwards and onwards. No Thrupper though, as Deltaforce opts to go low in order to avoid the nair coming out from Deltaforce back to the center of the stage. Yeast trying to hang out on this upper platform, but instead going to get that naired in place by Deltaforce, coming right back down and then getting the down throw, and then the very tail end of the Thrupper is going to be what takes game number 1 for Yeast.
I didn't think that Thrupper was going to beat out down air. I'm going to be honest with you. That down air is just lasts so long. The hitbox is giant. Never in my imagination, never in my wildest dreams that I think Thrupper was going to beat it out. But Yeast able to get the game in a very close nail biter of Deltaforce, really trying his best to come back. Had the lead at that last stock, but Yeast was able to lock in, just get his one hit off. And hey, that's just the story of Brawler. You get your one hit off, and all of a sudden you take a stock. Thrupper gonna take it. We're back on the battlefield as well. I mean, do you agree with this stage pick from Deltaforce despite him losing on this last round?
I would question this choice for the second. I questioned it the first time. I question it again. But I guess if this is the stage he really wants to have, okay. So,
ooh.
That was Yeast able to take that tech away from Deltaforce instead, forcing him to go right back off stage, no bomb in hand instead. So taking a pretty quick stock lead, Yeast able to come right back, but instead that is going to be the Nair that stalls that out. The F tilt into straight into the F smash for Deltaforce, going to be taking another stock in pretty quick succession.
The most American air dodge that American air dodge could be. No jump. Oh my god! The freaking madman! Super aware of the fact that Yeast didn't have a jump and just capitalized on it. Gets his nairs off, gets his F tilts off. Yeast super mad about that. You can sense that he's looking for blood against Deltaforce right now. Wants to take the stock as soon as possible, but an amazing way to come back from both of these guys. And it's been such a volatile game from Deltaforce and Yeast. You really can't tell who's going to win because it is now back to last stock like game 1.
Yeah, it didn't look like the tail end of the Thrupper was going to take it, but instead, Yeast actually got 3 different hits of Thrupper and then was able to take the stock, bringing us back down to even stocks, but not even damage yet. Deltaforce being able to get a little bit of a lead, and especially when he's able to send Yeast to the other side of the stage in order to establish some of the spacing. The down throw coming out from Yeast, not able to get much off of the stock just yet. Yet another down throw, and then coming right back with the flip kick, finding himself off stage instead. Going to be sending the bomb up. Deltaforce air dodging straight to the other platform, air dodging away off stage. Just get me away from this me Brawler is what he is saying. Up air coming out from Deltaforce, not able to get the stock, the F tilt as well to the center of the stage, trying to get Yeast not to approach him as much as possible. Off stage against Yeast, not where he wants to be, but both of them still able to recover. Not going to get that Nair off, but instead it's going to be the up tilt coming out over, and instead that is going to be Deltaforce's game to take over Yeast.
Yeah, finally getting, the hits that he needed. That second stock was so important in Deltaforce getting that game win over Yeast. Like I said before, the moment that Yeast didn't have jump, Deltaforce was on it immediately. Gets some jabs off, keeps Yeast off stage and sends him far enough to where he just can't make it back. And Deltaforce putting on a clinic, especially right there, showing that this right here was insane. Gets a double nair, understands he can come back. I'm very surprised that the uppie didn't scoop, but nonetheless, Deltaforce is going to take that to the bank and going to take it to game number 3 as we go on to PS2. And this makes sense. I think Yeast going on to Battlefield was good. Losing there was a bit unfortunate, but we go on to PS2, another stage where Thrupper can still kill fairly early, but Deltaforce, you're giving Deltaforce a lot of space to set up his traps and set up his projectiles. So, it could go either way once again on this stage.
Yeah, again, this is a pretty neutral stage pick due to the relatively low ceiling of a stage like PS2 that does give Yeast an ability, like you said earlier, that this is going to let him kill at a pretty early percentage. That up B not going to kill from Deltaforce yet, but a pretty good amount of damage that he's already put onto Yeast. Yeast coming back down with the Nair into the down throw, not able to get a stock off of it just yet, but Deltaforce coming right back to the center of the stage, getting his Nair, and then not able to get anything off of it just yet. Both of them looking for their spacing. The boomerang coming out in order to try to disrupt some of Yeast's movement from Deltaforce, sending him way off stage. The bomb, the up air, trying to force his landing, and that is going to be the first stock of the game going to Deltaforce.
Just very good sharking in general from Deltaforce. He's been so good at hitting his up tilts. Not going to die there. But Deltaforce, his ground game has just been phenomenal against Yeast, who has kind of, been forced to reside in the air for a majority of these games, trying to find aerial approaches, not even killing with the up smash, for example, right there. So Yeast still needs to find avenues to get into Deltaforce, who's just not letting it happen and getting a lot of damage as he's forcing Yeast into that position, still not dying. He's still looking for more extra credit on the stock. Gets him with the backer, and he's still alive. This guy cannot die.
Already full rage on the board for Deltaforce, and that is actually going to be Yeast stock, able to shark for the spike straight through the stage. Still a pretty decent amount of damage, and especially going to be prolonging that lead with the F tilt for Deltaforce. Coming right back into the stage with a bomb, finding Yeast in disadvantage now, and then able to read the flip jump into his up air. So wonderful from Deltaforce, able to get that read, coming straight back down. It is going to be Yeast trying to get his own combo going. Instead, keeps finding himself in disadvantage thanks to Deltaforce's nairs. The F tilt going to be able to still get the nair, and then coming straight back to the Pokeball. Another nair for Deltaforce. Can we get a nair counter, Jellyfish?
Dude, we've been on like infinite at this point. It's just never gonna stop. But that's what I was talking about. Nair is just such a strong tool for both of these characters. And, you know, like when we were talking about the tail of the tape, how we're seeing defensive versus offensive Nairs. I think Deltaforce's defensive game is so good, and the moment that he gets an opening, it just clicks, and he gets those combos off, and he kills, gets a 2-1 lead over Yeast, and we go into Game 4 with Deltaforce Prime to go into winner's side grand finals over a Yeast, mind you, that got second at a C tier at Bears 500, beating the likes of Zomba, for example. So Deltaforce, no slouch whatsoever right now.
No, absolutely none. And he's really playing so patiently. I can think that in the times that I've commentated for Deltaforce, where he really seems to lose his cool are the moments where he is in disadvantage, but in a deficit with regards to game count. But right now he has all the time and all this patience in the world, so it seems to be that he is really harping on a whole lot of Yeast's deficits at the moment. Alrighty, and then
you're seeing that PS2 necessarily wasn't the best stage pick. Going back to Battlefield, and it just makes sense. This is like Brawler's arguably best stage against like the majority of the cast. So going back into, you know, what you're comfortable with makes the most sense. And I was kind of talking about this with Pharaoh after Friday, where Rutgers hosted a tournament where Yeast, I'm not going to say that, you know, he kind of mashes the same options, but he can kind of do and perform the same game plan against a majority of this cast. So that's why you're going to see him go for a lot of landing nairs, up tilt, spot dodges, for example. You're dead there.
Yeah.
But you're going to see that a lot from Yeast, and it's just not working on Deltaforce. I think he's ready with all these different options. And once again, just giving himself enough space, not enough space there. Too close for comfort as Yeast going to take that thropper. You know, I mean, what the I can't say it, but like,
a beautiful extension of his combo from the bomb. Deltaforce is going to be going onto a rampage. Going to get grabbed by Yeast, unfortunately, coming right back to the center, and it is going to be Yeast off stage. The boomerang coming out, trying to overextend this combo for Deltaforce. Right back to the center of the stage, more bombs and boomerang. The nair sending Yeast right off stage, and now trying to go nair high in order to come right back down to the center of the stage, sending Deltaforce to the upper platform. Another nair coming out from Deltaforce as Yeast is finding himself off stage. No F tilt as he's able to recover, and now it is Deltaforce in disadvantage, going low in order to get the hero spin to come back, and yet another hero spin, not going to take the stock, but a pretty decent amount of damage on Yeast right now. If he wants to take this stock, he needs to take it now. Back to this upper plat. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. Hero's been really being the MVP of Deltaforce's not only ability to come back on a stage, but also just a reversal option. I mean, you've seen what he's been able to do with scooping on that ledge. So just the thought of that really has Yeast reconsidering his options, whether or not to go for like a nair or even an edge guard, because again, Brawler has some very stubby hitboxes. You can't really go for that despite the insane frame data he possesses, but gets hit with the up throw and is going to die via Star KO.
Yeah, at 150%, you know, that's a pretty decent amount of damage in order to die to an up throw from a character such as Link. Going to be resetting back to the center of the stage. Deltaforce knows that any extra credit that he can make right now is going to be vital. Not going to be able to lose the stock just yet to the thrupper. Going to be able to recover thanks to the get up attack. Up air coming out, and Yeast, knowing that it will, going to go high in order to recover. Another boomerang from Deltaforce as he opts to nair in place. Yeast sitting in shield for a bit, going to get the thrupper, and that will be the stock for Yeast.
Yeah, an amazing frame trap with that up B as well. Like I mentioned before, the insane frame data that Brawler possesses allows for Yeast to be able to kind of cover his different options with strong moves like Thrupper even like a back air, for example, a nair to just land with, as you see right there, into the down tilt. And even though Deltaforce is doing a very good job at air dodging or even teching on those platforms, it's like Yeast just catches it. Deltaforce trying to catch Yeast himself right there. Doesn't get hit with a huge comp.
He missed the hero spin, and Yeast was immediately able to turn it around and close out that game for himself. So, wonderful awareness from Yeast in order to avoid the up B from Deltaforce, but he will be bringing us to a game 5.
For sure, and just very, very strong from Yeast right there. You know he's in his element as well. He's got music blasting, he's smiling, he knows exactly what he's doing with this character, and that's the thing. He knows what he's doing with me, Brawler. Like it's so he's so clinical with all of his different. Like I said before, he covers so many different, misses or whiffs with just every single other move that he has in his arsenal. So Deltaforce really has to be aware of that. His only move to really get out of these combos and to get a disadvantage is neutral air, which Yeast can easily, dodge. It doesn't cover a lot of distance, that neutral air. So Yeast maybe going to keep that in mind as he goes into game number 5 against Deltaforce. But he's off stage right now. We've seen what Deltaforce can do, allowing Yeast to come back and even gain stage control just for a tad bit, but immediately gets it back.
Absolutely, going to be able to get the up tilt through the hero spin. No Thrupper yet for Yeast.
What? This
Okay.
game sucks.
Right back to the center of the stage. He's trying to prolong some of this damage. And then a Thrupper for Yeast. That is going to be his first blood of the game drawn against Deltaforce.
Too many mistakes, really, from Deltaforce. I don't even know if it's mistakes. It's more so Deltaforce is now kind of, showing his cards a little bit, getting a little bit more open compared to Yeast. Either that or Yeast has just been threading the needle against Deltaforce and finding all these different openings, these different weaknesses, chinks in the armor, really, against Deltaforce, who once again gets Yeast with the star KO there. But yeah, Yeast really posing as an aerial threat against Deltaforce so much right now, and it almost seems like it's overwhelming for Deltaforce as he tries to come back onto the ledge, jumps, nairs, anything at this point for Deltaforce, forced to go with the boomerang, and once again gets hit. He just can't get out of this corner as he's looking for that down air to really solidify his stock. Looks for it once again. Yeast, when I say he's in his element, he's in it.
Absolutely, and it does, to your point, it does seem as though Deltaforce is playing a little bit on the back foot. He does seem to be a little bit more nervous. The up air coming out, going to put him into disadvantage. No Thrupper for Yeast just yet. The nair coming out from the upper platform. Deltaforce trying to shark under this platform in between these two in order to get it, and that is actually going to be Yeast parrying the nair from Deltaforce. Rapid jab, no stock just yet. Another nair from Deltaforce. The bomb and the boomerang going to be exploding that back to the other side of the stage. Deltaforce trying to land against Yeast's shield, but to no avail just yet. The Thrupper out of shield. Instead, that is going to be Deltaforce's stock to take from that upper platform.
And you can finally see the Deltaforce is understanding how Yeast wants to approach the dying embers of this match. He gets the flashing Mach Punch to bring it to last stock. Yeast, like I said before, Deltaforce is understanding that Yeast wants to go for a lot of these aerial mix-ups, right? He's going for a lot of empty hops, tomahawk grabs. He's going for, a jump. He wants to draw out an air dodge or a really bad option from Deltaforce to then be able to punish with the Thrupper, a back air of some sort, even stay on the ground for that matter. So Yeast not only using his good frame data, but using his amazing airspeed and the fast fall, characteristic of this character as well. It's even Deltaforce once again on the back foot. Oh, you're almost dead.
Already no down air yet for Yeast. The hero spin going to be able to let Deltaforce recover as he tries to get that up air. No dice though. The up tilt coming out from Yeast from the center of the stage. It is going to be Deltaforce who's going to be prolonging the combo with the hero spin and no stock just yet. Going back to the center of the stage. It's going to be the stock instead from the upper platform. Reading the tech roll from Yeast instead.